Okay, I think this takes like a few seconds for people to get in here. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me. I'm really trying to structure this. It says it's waiting for Black Dove Oracle to start this, and I have, so I guess it's like a little bit of a lag. Start this, and I have, so I guess it's like a little bit of. Okay. Okay. I wonder how this is gonna work. I wonder how this is gonna work. Hey, Camilla. Connected correctly, you should still hear me. Hey, respectful cicada. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Let me put in my chat. Okay, let me know if you hear me because I feel like I have my monitor so that I can look at the chat, but then I have all of my audio I'm hoping set up here on my phone. But let me know if you can't hear me because I've been talking. But I know that there's probably, let me see, is there's a way for me to view this in YouTube? I'm trying to figure out if folks can hear me. Oh, I'm doing great. The audio's great. Okay, cool. It's not my first time. I think it's my first time using YouTube. I was using get all of them with people in the chat. So that's why I was trying to figure it all out. But if you guys can hear me, I think I need to watch it in real time, but there's a little bit of a lag because I'm not watching it properly. I don't know if I'm not watching it properly, but anyway, I was trying to test this. I was like, let me see if I can do it on YouTube. And then let's just do some midnight tea, spilling from spirit. I have a little bit of energy, and we're just going to see what comes forward. Yeah. You trying to do the same thing, Camilla? I think it's just there's not any real instructions on how to like set up your mic. Okay, cool. So let's just go with a card. We're just gonna go with an opening card, and we'll just see what spirit's trying to communicate. How? Oh, John. Can somebody moderate for me? Because John's trying to bring the devil up in here. Okay. Here it says, you mean more to me than you think. I think that's a good one to start out with. You mean more to me than you think. What's Spirit trying to say here? Someone definitely you think things. They think that you don't you don't think that they care anymore. You know, I think you all have been through some kind of transition in this relationship, but it's a cosmic. I could see it. Yeah. It is, you know, like this is a cosmic connection, and it's kind of in it they on you. So whatever you're doing, they've been quietly watching you. But this is a it's a cosmic connection, meaning this is something that you feel. This is something I think you even feel in the 5D. Um, you just been waiting on 3D. Spirit said to go with these cards next. But so respectful cicada, you said that if you disconnect from the TV, then you can write down actual words. Okay. uh, where do you always get a lot of these like I think that's why I like doing StreamYard, because you get these like you get these people on here who, I don't know, they got some like low vibrational energy. Oh, is it count? Let me figure that out. Because I'm trying to have you all hear me through here, but maybe it's not working. If I disconnect all of this, let me hear me. Can you all hear me now? Is it better now? Divine Roberts, is it better now? Can you all hear me now? I don't know what kind of sound it has. It might seem like I'm far away, but you all let me know if you could still hear me, because I disconnected like my big mic. Okay, now it's okay. Yeah. So this is interesting. This person has an eye on you. Um, but let's see, because Spirit's saying they want me to pick one of these cards. Yeah. They kind of been in the shadows. Maybe I think because they've been going through something, some kind of like of their own personal trials. And it's like, it's kind of interesting. You guys, how do these people must have like several hundred different accounts? It looks like, you know, they have nothing better to do. But until I have a moderator, I'm just going to be kind of pausing because I don't want to like have these people's negative energy while I'm trying to read. Okay. So I would say that they've been going through some kind of personal trial. I don't know if it's something, I mean, we can look into it. But Spirit is saying here that it is somebody who's been trying to figure out their own position here, even spiritually. I think they've been working with their ancestors, but it's kind of like, you know, they're in their own process right now. And it's a little bit hidden. This is almost like the moon card too. It's like they haven't been showing you what they've been going through, but at the same time they feel very connected to you. So it's kind of interesting. I don't know if you feel like this is about you, then tell me if you've been receiving kind of dream messages. Oh, that's really something I wanted to talk to you guys about was this dream I had this morning. And I know it's like a combination of a lot of things I was like looking into, but it was hecka funny. You know, that actor, Hugh, is it Hugh Jackman? The one that plays Wolverine on X-Men. You know, he's kind of like that big buff dude. And with the claws for his fingers. Anyway, I had this dream that for some reason I was going out to dinner with him and this other sister. But him and his other sister were mostly talking to each other. Like they were kind of flirting with each other. And I was just there and I was kind of like listening, you know, I thought we were all going to have dinner. Then all of a sudden those two get up and leave. And when I get the bill, it's like over $7,000 because Hugh Jackman ordered some like really expensive wine. I was like, $7,000. And the next thing I knew, I was stuck with this bill. And I was like, oh, dang, the tip is going to be like over $300. Yeah. I don't know about these like trolls. Y'all didn't tell me. I think that's why I do it on StreamYard, because StreamYard cuts out all the trolls. But, you know, I don't know. I don't see them coming back so far. So we'll see. But anyway, there's something about that dream because when I woke up, I for sure remembered that $7,000 dinner bill. I was like, what is this $7,000 dinner bill they just left me with? And I didn't have any food, I thought. I don't remember eating in the dream at all. So I was like, what is this dream about? And I was kind of like, listen, someone's gonna leave you with the bill. You know, like they're gonna leave you with the footing the bill. Yeah. Right? And it's like, I don't know if this dream was entirely for me. Yeah, don't go to dinner with Hugh Jackman and this sister. I don't know who that sister was. But all I gotta say is that was so crazy. When I woke up, I said I had to remember this because Spirit wanted me to remember this dream. And so there is something about someone, and I'm not saying it's connected to this dream, to this reading right now, but there is someone out there that needs to know that someone's going to try to have you foot their bill. And maybe you need to know about third parties. There's something about a third party that somebody needs to know about. I mean, for me, I don't think that's the situation, but maybe it is for me. Who knows? Anyway, back to the reading. Somebody need to hear about that. Watch out for these third parties. They're going to try to leave you with a bill. Okay, so sweet waters, sensuality, romance. I do feel like this person does have romantic feelings for you, going back to the reading. And I do feel like when they think of you as being like a really sweet person, someone who's very gentle, kind. But I don't know why I just sighed. There's a sigh there. Look, it says breath. So I think the timing's wrong. I think the timing is off somehow. And this person, they want you to know that you do mean something to them. Like they're not trying to, yeah. It could be an emotional bill. You're right, Raj. Because it's like there's some kind of emotional bill, there's something unexpected. And maybe it will tie into this. But I kind of get the energy I'm seeing here is more sincere. But that dream did, I mean, I think I was looking at Hugh Jackman in the dream too. I was caught up. But when they left the table, I was all like, and the waiter brought over the bill, I was like, wait, what? It was almost like I was going to pay it too in the dream. That's interesting, huh? Hold on, look, we're going to get back to this reading. Because, I mean, it's coming forward. But back to the dream for a second. It was almost like I was going to pay that bill, y'all. I was all like, oh, no big deal, you know. But when I looked at the total, I was like, dang. And then I remember in the dream, I actually felt like I was trying to figure out my credit cards so that I could pay it. That's interesting, huh? But anyway, because I was all like, in real life, that would not, Kamara would not be doing that. So that was kind of interesting. So back to this dream. I never meant to hurt you. There is someone who's in deep regret, though, because I think what they're feeling now, especially with the work that they've been doing, they understand that the connection you both had was quite, like, you know, otherworldly. Yeah. And I think that, you know, what are you saying, Camilla? Yeah. Yeah, I don't, you know, we're going to do a general reading, so try to get it from here because I'm just reading the energies. But if this is a past person, we could see. Yeah. I think on both of you, on both sides, there might have been just, I don't know, misalignments for sure. So let's go to the tarot. Because I do feel like, yeah, my nails here. Let me get this card out. Yeah. It just feels like two people who are meant to be together, but at the same time, there's this whole thing of understanding you have a connection, but how do you make it work in the 3D? Well, one is to stop obsessing over each other and really get down to what is making this relationship falter and what can make it work. Because the devil's in reverse here. So, and so is the 5 of Cups. So it's like you don't have to suffer. Spirit is saying you do not have to suffer, both of you being separate from each other. But you also need to know that this is not just a physical thing. And so you've got to really, okay, Spirit's coming through now in a deeper way. They're saying that when it's a cosmic connection, this is more than just a playground. I think Spirit is saying you both have to learn how to regard this as a sacred connection. And it's like, in a sacred connection, you all can't play with each other like this. Because I think what I'm hearing from Spirit even right now is that your ancestors brought you together. And if the ancestors brought you together, then there's other reasons for your relationship than playing games with each other about, you know, romantic love. I mean, the romantic love is great. That's what's like kind of attracting you all. But Spirit is saying your relationship is much deeper than that. But you both have to understand that and work from a place of cosmic connection. You know what I mean? Like, if your relationship has other meanings than just sex and you know, romantic games, then you both have to understand that. And I think this person is coming through like they understand it. But both partners, look at that King of Cups, yeah. They have to understand that we're working at a higher level, energy level, you know? We're having to like raise the vibration of the connection. So you got a King of Cups, or you may be this King of Cups, and you've got to understand that this is not your old kind of relationship. This is not your typical, you know, two people meet and we're gonna try to just have this romantic thing. No, there is something both of you have to do. So it would be interesting to find out what both of your missions are together. Let's start asking the ancestors. Because what's your mission together? If you all have a mission together that's outside of the physical, you know, love, then what is it? Yeah, you all look. It is celestial, meaning this is a cosmic connection. It has it's boundless, meaning you all have probably shared some kind of past life together, many lives, I'm hearing, and you're here to do some specific things together. And, you know, we're in 3D bodies. So you got, you know, spirit has to do something to bring you both together. So there is going to be attraction, right? There is going to be a certain kind of rhythm that you both have for each other. But it's also they're talking about what is it that you're supposed to do? Okay, so you all have some kind of journey to take together, some kind of exploration. There's something you all, I really am feeling the energy of it. Like you have something very important to do. Now I need to find out what that is. I mean, it may not be any of our business, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? Because it may just be the business of the two people. So I want to preface that. I feel like I need another deck, but we're going to use this one to see if we can find out what the mission of the two people are. Look, it says your intuition knows more. See, this is what I bet is going on. You both are awakening. You both are awakening to your powers. And I mean by awakening to your psychic powers, awakening to your spiritual powers, whatever it is. I would say it's probably psychic. And I would say that this is kind of like the temperance card in this particular deck, but it says our intuition knows more than we do. It means that from your gut, both of you know you belong together. I mean, seriously, from your gut, you both know you belong together, but you both have to work past this 3D understanding of this relationship. You most certainly do. Because if you don't work past it, you all have to understand that this is really truly your mission. Now here's what I want to say, because Spirit is saying explain this. You know, not every soul that lands on this 3D is here with a mission and a purpose. There are certain people, and I know there's a lot of folks who'll use the term chosen, but there are certain people who came here for a reason. They have things to do. And there's other people, they just came here for the experience. I mean, they're just going to learn what they need to learn. But you two have something to do. And so Spirit is saying here with this Explorer and Celestial to understand that when you both landed in whatever body, whatever fated family you were born into, this was just the scenario for you to land here, to be able to do the work. Like imagine you from a different cosmic place. You may not even really have human origins. I'm going to start I'm just channeling what I hear. You may not even have human origins. You may be from another cosmic place that's sent here to help the earth progress in a particular way. And it's not always about being famous, y'all. It's not always about, you know, having yourself really being seen by everyone and heard by everyone. Some things that people with purpose and mission have to do, they are quite influential, but they may not be like famous. And so I think Spirit wants you to know that. Some of the things you have to do, like two people come together and they form a school. This is just an example, y'all. But if two people come together and they form a school, one of the students they're teaching may have a mission that's aligned and connected and requires, for you to provide them with certain teachings. And it's like some of these relationships we're getting into, we're finding we're not just finding our love partner, we're finding our spirit partner, our mission partner. Like we're on a mission to do the things that we're sent here to do. But again, Spirit is saying to me, even clearly right now, not everyone has this mission. This is why you waste your time sometimes trying to convince people that, everybody has a mission, because not everybody has one. Like this is not a time where everybody has to be in that kind of alignment. And I know certain spiritual communities want to make it so that everybody has a spiritual mission, everybody's this, everybody's that. No, that's not actually true. There's some really young spirits here that just need the experience of being a human being. Doing right from wrong, learning about karma, learning about their emotional self. That is not y'all. You're old. You're too old. This is not that part of you. You're not supposed to be in that part of the playground. Listen, the Emperor came out in reverse. And I think it's because this King of Cups is really supposed to be the Emperor. I'm dealing with a small but see, this person right here, remember I said they're dealing with their own trials and tribulations. They are still thinking of themselves as a king when they're quite literally the emperor. The emperor is all kings together, all in one. And so this person has to break free of their own limitations. Whoever this is in the relationship, the person that misses you, still thinks about you, the person that never meant to hurt you, but also is trying to get over the hurt that they experienced in the relationship with you. This is definitely about a past kind of relationship. It doesn't have to be recent. It could be for some people, but this kind of could have been someone from a ways back. So Spirit wants you to take some kind of new action. And here it is, because when you take this new action, when they see that both of you are starting to elevate the relationship to the status of what it needs to be, which is, it's important, it's sacred, it has a purpose, then you both are going to be able to ground yourself in the relationship as it needs to be. This person assumes their rightful position as an emperor. What else will happen, Spirit? And look at that. Because here's what it is. Someone's in Queen of Wands while someone's in King. Someone wants to remain kind of independent, have their own life the way that they want their life. They want to express themselves the way they want to express themselves. But see, what I see here in King and Queen energy for this couple, the King is looking at the Queen. The Queen is focused outwardly. So regardless of gender, someone in a relationship is like, they're looking at their life in a more expansive way. Like, these are the things I want to do. While the king is like, focused on this queen and ignoring their role as an emperor. So I think that's just like demonstrating that this is where the relationship is kind of misaligned. The king is really focused on the queen. The queen is focused on their own thing. And the king needs to assume the role of the emperor, but is distracted. Again, temperance comes up. But here's what I want to say with temperance all the time. Temperance is actually a love card. You are both supposed to be pouring into each other. That's an equal pouring. Right now, the relationship is not like that. One person is focused on the other one is focused outwardly. Let me see if how this person really feels, though. I want to see how the Queen of Wands really feels. How's the Queen of Wands really feel? I mean, if the Queen of Wands is not interested, the Queen of Wands is not interested. But the Queen of Wands is interested. Queen of Wands, I somehow trust you. See, I think that's it. Like when I picked up on it, that's it. It's that the relationship itself, you all are too much in these 3D dynamics. One person needs to elevate their entire self, king to emperor. And let me just look at, what do you want, Spirit, for the Queen to do? Because the Queen's got something to do too. I mean, the Queen needs to pour into the King, but wait, not yet. There's something you got to do growth-wise yourself. You got to, because Knight of Wands came in reverse. You actually need to slow your roll. If you're in the Queen of Wands position, you need to slow your roll. Like I think somebody is really out here thinking the grass is greener, with other people, that you can get what you want and not have to commit. And maybe that's good for you. But Spirit is saying here that as long as you're kind of non-committal and feeling like the grass is greener, this relationship, it's not meeting the mission of the couple. That's all I'm gonna say. It's not meeting the mission of the couple. The couple has a cosmic mission, and they caught up in some like really, I don't know, just really dramatic. Oh, you know what happened, y'all? Because I pay attention to everything that happens during the day. So I told you all I had that weird dream when I woke up with Hugh Jackman. And then when I went to the grocery store, because my family's in town and somebody's celebrating their birthday, so I wanted to get a birthday cake. I pull up, I park in the parking lot, and right when I'm getting out the car, this woman gets out, like somebody's dropping this woman off at the front of the store. And I guess they start to take off before she closes the door. And she's like, ow, she starts yelling. And then she's like cussing this man out who's driving her. Everybody in the parking lot is like, oh, shoot. And I said, that's interesting because, y'all, I live in like a real quiet retirement community. Nothing is happening here. Nothing happens here. So when this like woman starts like cussing this man out in the car, like, how could you do this to me? And she's saying, F-bombs everywhere. I was like, okay, this is kind of strange. Like, I should pay attention to this. Like, what does this mean? And so I really do feel like in some way that's the dramatic energy between the both of you. This person keeps thinking that they're giving and giving and giving. And one person is just focused outward. You know, they're just like, what's my life, what could my life be like? You know, this person in Queen of Wands is more in a dreamy state, just imagining the perfect relationship, but not realizing this is it. This is it. You know, sometimes we focus on, is there something better? And Spirit is like, no, actually, you know, this is your person, right? You may think something's wrong because this queen might actually see that they belong with an emperor. So Spirit is showing that too. Like this queen is like, you know, my jam is an emperor. You're not showing up this way. So that's some of it too. I mean, we're not going to blame it all on the queen. She's just, you know, and not a she even. It's just like the queen, whoever's the queen in this relationship is just like, I deserve this. This is what I'm dreaming of. This person's like too focused on the queen to become this emperor. All right. I might have beat a dead horse with that, but I hope you all understand what I was getting the tea on. That was the tea from Spirit on that particular thing. Let me know if there's any questions. That's what I got. That was the tea on that. We will do another pull and see what Spirit, what other tea Spirit wants to comment on. But yeah, realize your relationship is cosmic. It means something. It's not just some roll in the hay. It's not. Is that an old expression, y'all? Sometimes I don't know where I get these old expressions from. Blame my ancestors. I am old, but sometimes I'm like, roll in the hay, where are we? Okay, anyway. So, let me just clear everything with some Palo Santo. How are you all doing? It's kind of late. It's 12 midnight. I guess I did say it was going to be midnight tea. Okay, put your energy out there so I could pick up on it. I think we did get rid of the trolls. I don't see them back yet. See, that's the problem with being directly streaming on YouTube, I guess. Huh. We'll see. Spirit said it's not this deck that we're going to start with, though. But let me, oh, thank you. I hope it made sense for you. I was really getting that feeling. I don't know if that made sense to you, but I was really getting a two-person feeling. So you can reply back to me. Let me know if that made sense to you. I appreciate you. You know what made me start to feel better, you guys, was my family came into town and we did some walking around outside this evening. And I swear to y'all, nature just clears up your lungs right away. I started to feel better. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I don't want to put your business out here, but thank you. Yeah, but nature, man, I started feeling better. I mean, I was coughing, but it was like being out in fresh air and sunlight. Because you know when you're sick, you're like strapped to the bed. And I was like, wow. I think I've been in my little casita for like 4 days. And I just needed to get out and have some fresh air. And y'all, I started to feel way better. I mean, I still have a little cough, but it's not that bad. Okay, so Spirit, what deck are we using? I'm asking Spirit what deck we're going to use for the opening message. And y'all put your energy here. And thank you so much again, Myra. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're the sweetest. Okay. Spirit said it was gonna be this deck. What's the midnight tea, Spirit? What is the midnight tea? I hope you all are doing well. Let me know if this setup continues to work. Lady of the Lake, new beginnings. Something is happening. Okay? So some new beginning for you is getting ready to happen. The ancestors want to talk. Let's see. Lady of the Lake, too. It may be some new kind of intellectual endeavor. I don't know if someone's thinking about going back to school or training in something. It could be emotional, though. So somebody might be deciding they want to, you know, try to heal something emotional. Maybe go to therapy. I feel like my readings can't help but bring up therapy all the time. Tree. Yeah, the ancestors are saying it's something about healing something in your family tree, putting something into balance. They said one more card. Look at that, grandfather. He was in reverse. Someone may have the masculine line in their family. Oh, you did? Yeah. I don't know. I mean, we don't want to bring your personal business here, but you're I don't know if this is about the masculine line in the family. Could be a grandfather who's coming through ancestrally that wants you to do some work. You know, y'all, the kind of psychotherapy I do, I call it ancestral psychotherapy. And I got to tell you all, and I say this to many of my clients know this, that the people that are called to me, they're actually called by their ancestors. I mean, it's weird because I don't really advertise. You know, like I just kind of see who comes and then I'm like, oh, okay, that's kind of interesting. And next thing you know, it's like that mediumship just kind of starts to happen even in the other work that I do. Somebody's grandfather, though, is trying to bring their attention to something. Let's see. Ooh, wow. Yeah, I told you, throw your energy in here because I'm going to pick up on it. So let's see. You never met him? Yeah, you know, I'm going to say this really quick because Spirit's saying sometimes when we haven't met certain ancestors, some people think they can't do ancestral work because they never knew some of their older like grandparents or something when they were alive. And you know what, y'all? Even if you're adopted, it doesn't matter. What you do is, first of all, you're going to start to develop your spiritual awareness because you're going to realize your ancestors' energy signature. And when you realize their energy signature, then you could take something as simple as a gemstone and begin to like build an altar, and you can ask them, is this something that you want to represent you? It doesn't have to be something like this, y'all. It could be anything. It could be like a little figurine you have, you know, like it could be a feather, it could be anything, you know. And what you do is you start to put those representations on your ancestor altar. And those representations, they're just there because, you know, hold on for a second, I'm gonna drink some water. These representations are important because we're in the 3D realm and it helps us as human beings to have representations. Not all of us need representations, but it helps in the beginning
when you're doing your ancestral work. And so you build your altar with meaningful representations of your ancestors. For me, I used to make my own dolls, or I would go and get vintage dolls to represent my older ancestors I never met. And so then you start to feel the energy that becomes your ancestor altar. And that ancestor altar, if you go to it every day, you know, what I do every morning is I pray with my ancestors. It's not I don't pray to them, I pray with them. So I go and I sit down and I pray with them, and then I just begin to tune into their frequency. And that is how you do ancestor work, is plain and simple. You know, and then on occasion you will make an offering to them. I'm just telling you, all from traditional African religion. I mean, if you're from different cultures, you have, your culture may have some specific things you do. But you know, when you do this work, you're going to start to tune into your ancestors more and more, and they're going to start to help you with your life. You know, according to traditional African religion, your ancestors help you with your mundane world. That means this world, the one you're paying the bills in and meeting people, and that's the world that's the world they can help you with. Your ancestors have one mandate. Remember this. Your ancestors have one mandate, which is to make sure their bloodline succeeds. That's your ancestors' mandate. But they can't fulfill that mandate if you don't have some way of offering them energy. It's a reciprocal relationship. That's why we offer them offerings. That's why we talk with them. Sometimes we pray with them, you know, because you've got to build them up. Some of our bloodlines, we just haven't focused on our ancestors for so long. Our ancestors are starving. Literally, they're starving in their world. And they're like, yeah, have you all watched that movie Coco? If you watch that movie Coco, it is kind of like that. If you don't pay attention to your ancestors, they get so weak they can't help you. And what you need in this world, because you're in the middle world is chaotic. Y'all haven't noticed? The middle world is chaotic. We don't live in the upper world. So, yeah, you connecting with your Cuban and Dominican roots. Tiano, yeah, that's some powerful ancestry, by the way. I don't know if you from, oh, you said Cuban and Dominican. Go back home. You really, if you can, you know, depending on who stays in office, try to go to Cuba. Just go to Cuba on some kind of like cultural thing. I've been to Cuba before. It's like the most powerful place. And if you're from there, I mean, people's practices are so intact there. Because I went to Santiago, that's kind of like the more African part of the island, and the people's practices are just so intact. Yeah, and going back to your homelands, I really do start to feel that that's going to be our next step as evolving humans. We're going to start going back to our ancestral lands. But you do that, start connecting. Let me get back to the reading. I know I can go off on whole this ancestral practice, but it's something I deeply believe in. My life changed completely, y'all. And when I say completely, like from mental health to finances to my career, when I started working with my ancestors, and it is like no lie. Like my life, like if you talk to people who knew me in the past, they would be like, they would feel like, and I know they feel that I'm a different ass person altogether. And they probably wouldn't even believe. I'm sure some of them watch me now. I don't know if they do or not, but they're probably like, I don't believe this person because I was a different person. But when you start working with your ancestors, it's like your life cleans up. Your well ancestors, you know what I mean? You got to work with the ones that are strong, who have been doing their healing work. But yeah. Yeah, see, this grandfather energy, I'm going to call it a grandfather energy. Um, it's trying to bring some accountability to the lineage. Somebody, whether it's this grandfather themselves or someone in the family, needs to be accountable. They're really showing something has been broken in the family. Um, Spirit is saying maybe trust. Let me see what deck to get in yet. Indian, South Asian Indian, Indian, Native American Indian, Indigenous. Yeah, High Priestess, intuition and knowingness. You know, I get this message a lot, and I see it come up in people's lineages a lot. Someone's family is very powerful psychically. Someone's family comes from a lineage of high priest, high priestesses. But guess what, y'all? You know, South Asian. Okay, yeah. Someone's family, here's what I'm going to say because Spirit's giving the download. A lot of the ancestral stuff we have to fix is the restoration, often, of the power in our family. Yeah. You know, here's what happens, y'all, and I know that you probably know this, but it's like, you know, wars, colonization, all kinds of stuff. What happens to the women in the family? They lose their power. They lose their spiritual power. Because, you know, you get married into different families. Different families have different rules about, you know, who you're going to worship, who you're going to, you know, who you're going to worship and give praise to, and they lose their power. They lose their spiritual power. Someone's family, your grandfather's trying to say, because now your grandfather knows, oh, okay, oh, this is deep, y'all. Your grandfather wants to be accountable because this grandfather energy knows that they shut down the power in the lineage. There's powerful women, whoever this is, there's powerful women in your family. Right now, you may not believe it because everybody has been so suppressed throughout the generations that you may not believe it. But this grandfather's coming forward to say, no, we've got to restore. I mean, y'all, you got to understand. When you die and you leave this 3D, and you become an ancestor and you look at the lineage and I mean, it's almost like you die. Spirit is showing it to me right now. It's like you die and you get brought into some kind of ready room as an ancestor. And they say, well, this is the condition of your lineage. This is the condition you left it in. And this grandfather's like, damn, I just wiped out the last of the high priestesses in my family, in my lineage, with my belief system, with my oppression. So this is deep, y'all. Y'all have a male ancestor, a energy coming forward to say, this line must be restored. I told you, the mandate of the ancestors, you all have to, I think this is cross-cultural. The mandate of the ancestors is to restore the lineage. They have to restore the lineage because your lineage must continue. It's very sad when you see people who are the last in their family. They don't have any children. Their siblings don't have any children. They're the last ones. And there's a reason why that happens. So, trust me, this grandfather energy is coming through and saying, listen, yeah. Because what happens is when when the feminine line is so damaged by like kind of like masculine uh toxicity, I guess I'm hearing, the women in the family no longer want to have children. People in the family don't want to have children. It doesn't even have to be just the women, but it's just like nobody wants to have children. Like, what's the use? It's like, because this is such a high, powerful position, y'all. I mean, a high priestess is nothing to joke at. A high priestess is not a pastor. A high priestess is like someone who's learned, someone who studies the cosmos, the ancient magic, the hidden magic. The high priestess is like the pinnacle of spirituality, along with the hierophant. So like when you wipe out the high priestess in your bloodline, I mean, you basically have told spirit your family doesn't want to continue. Yeah. I mean, you know, we all make that choice, right? I mean, these are our choices to make based on the current world, so we can't, it may not be just up to our ancestors. There may be things that are not motivating in terms of this world to have children, you know, right now. So, but also for your lineage and for the world, your lineage may have, just as that other reading, your lineage may have duties. Your lineage may have a mission. Some of our lineages, they're very old. They're very ancient. They're very old. What do they want you to do? Look at that. I asked, what do they want you to do? And look, repair. Okay, Spirit is in the room, y'all. Make amends. Rather than fun times, reveal a relationship's true constitution. Oh, wait, hold on, Butterfly. What are you saying here? You said, here I was thinking, no way, this is I never met. Wow. Yeah, listen, y'all. Spirit is saying here and coming through with this grandfather energy. The grandfather wants repairs to start to happen. Now, you know, I'll be the first one to say healing family stuff, it is difficult. I am not a person who's achieved that myself. It's difficult, y'all, because there's a lot of past wounding, right? A lot of pain, especially if someone's especially if someone, the women, the feminine line has never been treated that well. Yeah, I get what you're saying, Butterfly. Yeah, it's like there may be a lot of wounding there. You know, we don't want to get into traumatizing people, but there's a lot of abuses that have happened in family lines. I'm not saying this grandfather for that, but this grandfather seems to be coming through to say there's a lot of religious trauma that was thrown upon women in the family. But there's a lot of different kinds of trauma that women have experienced, right? Having babies when they didn't want to. Y'all, you know, this is deep in spirit saying to maybe share a little bit of this story. Take a sip of water really quick. In May, I was in a training that was international, and there were two women there. I want to say they were from Romania, but you're going to have to fact check me. They were from that part of the world. And they were saying one woman, she's done so much powerful work, you all. She's created a museum because at one point in this country's history, people abandoned their children. Like the country was so impoverished, and the women had virtually no control over their birthing, that as people had children, they just abandoned them. And there's like, for this country, there's a history during a certain number of years of just abandoned children. Like these children were just left on the street. No one to take care of them, feed them. And so there, you gotta imagine, she was trying to explain a generations of abandoned children. Forgive me if that's not the right country, but I'm thinking it is Romania. And so you've got to understand, she says that there's so much shame around that now, that the country just, the culture just wants to forget that part of history. But there's people alive today who had that experience, right? So she made this museum and got all this funding because they're trying to educate the culture to not just bypass that experience. It was painful to the lineage of the whole country, right? I mean, it's a smaller country. It's not, like the US. So people have a lot of shared history. And so this is like her work. And I guess Spirit wanted me to mention that story because there's things like that in all of our family histories. I have enslaved African heritage as well as indigenous. So it's like double whammy in terms of the history my family has experienced. It's like enslavement, being removed from your lands. I mean, it's bad. But if people don't know that history, then it's kind of hard to do really authentic ancestor work without knowing your family's history, without knowing the history of the country your family lived in or migrated to. You got to know all of that, you all. And so some people don't want to know stuff. They feel like these stories are too painful. But what's more painful is that you're reliving this trauma over and over again. You're reliving it for your ancestors. It's like, and if you keep reliving it, eventually it ends your lineage. It's like everybody's like, I'm not gonna have children. I'm not trying to be in a partnership and have family. I don't want the family to continue. That was harmful for me. Why was it harmful? Because no one has gone back and healed those like real ancient wounds. Yeah. Y'all, it's deep. Yeah, Spirit is saying, and this grandfather saying, it's not the time to do nothing. Now is not that time. Something must be done. And like I said, there's plenty of people who will listen to parts or some of this and say, that's not my reading. Like, my family's okay. I mean, yeah, we're not perfect, but whatever. But I gotta tell you that everything, in order for world healing to happen, we're gonna have to do some really deep stuff around healing the wounds of the past. At least that's just my opinion. It's something that I've been seeing. Spirit said I'm not done with this deck. Gosh, this deck does not want to cooperate. Hold on. Y'all, I be trying to have these fancy nails. I think these fancy nails are the ones that gave me COVID. It was my vanity that got me COVID, because I think I remember a man coughing so much while I was getting my nails done, and I was like, Oh, that does not sound good. And I realized, yeah, it wasn't good. Okay. Four of Pentacles in reverse. This grandfather is saying that it even shows up when, even for financial issues, the family can't seem to hold on to material. Their material life of the family is kind of weak. Family can't seem to like be stable around money. Can't seem to like save or build anything. Everybody's kind of in their own little individual, silo, making their own money, but there's no generational wealth. Yeah, there's very little movement in the family in terms of like true growth and success. These families, and I see it all the time. Somebody will go to college, first one in college, do really well, have a good marriage, marry, but it kind of ends there. It never trickles down to their children. It never trickles down to any of the younger people in the family. It's kind of like that person dies and their wealth kind of dies with them. Excuse me, y'all. Yeah. But this grandfather is saying that you all have the capacity, whoever is listening to this and resonating with it, you do have the capacity to take some action. There is something you can do. Even now, look at that. It's like changing, Knight of Swords, changing, I'm hearing the word attitude. That's kind of an interesting word. But changing the way that you think about it. See, these knights, I don't know why, but Spirit is bringing me to the eyes of this knight. How their eyes and their sword is between their eyebrows. It's like there's a certain kind of focus here that your ancestors want you to begin to develop. That's interesting. Y'all let me know. Somebody in the chat may have an idea about this, but do you see what I'm looking at? It's like when you're getting ready to charge and you put that sword. Why do you think they do that? You put that sword between your eyebrows. Spirit is saying, and you all correct me, is it the ajna? What is that space between your two eyebrows? The ajna? Am I pronouncing that wrong? The third eye. There's a practice someone needs to learn. Ajna. Yeah, isn't it? Ajna. Huh. There's a clue there. I can't say what this grandfather wants, but if I don't know why I'm tapping in. If your family is South Asian, you may know a specific practice that I'm going to say if your family's Hindu, maybe that's more correct to say. I don't know. What else, grandfather? Let's just see. What do you want them to do with this ajna? Wow. I would say Hindu and John. Okay, thank you, Rush. Yeah, I think, some people might look at this and say your grandfather wants you to get into a relationship. That might be the most simplistic thing, but I actually feel like you're with this ajna. I think the lovers is often too about the parts of ourselves, the duality. because the Lovers is also Gemini, right? So this duality, your grandfather is pointing to the duality of yourself. You're feminine and masculine. Your grandfather wants you to become one. So there's something in this practice of, of beginning to be a non-dual person. That's what I'm hearing. Ooh, really, butterfly? I'm calling you butterfly. I was wondering if that was short for that. Forgive my assumption if it isn't. Okay. Wow. Yes, Spirit is saying that you all have the power in this chat. Like, we should be co-working this. I shouldn't be the only one, because the Spirit is saying you all knew something about the ajna. Yeah. So it's like, yeah. Pisces 2, the 2 fishes. The number 2 in general, when these lovers also come up, it's not necessarily romance. It's about these two parts of yourself coming together, so you're no longer a dual personality. Or, how do I want to say this? I think we're all naturally dual, like we hold masculine and feminine energy. And I think these words are so limiting because we hold some equal and opposite energies inside of us. But we have been taught in different societies, right? Because the grandfather is coming back to say, but we have been taught that we are only one. So when it comes to like identifying as a gender, we're taught, oh, the woman is feminine, the man is masculine. You know what I mean? And so the grandfather's pointing out that that teaching has not allowed us to embody who we really are. And so the grandfather is pointing, this is deep, y'all. The grandfather is really pointing to you that you must balance these energies within yourself, so that this high priestess energy can come back online. This high priestess energy is not just feminine energy. It's both. You see here, Spirit is pointing out, high priestess stands in every deck practically. If you look at the high priestess, she stands or sits between two pillars, the pillar of the masculine and the feminine. She was never just divine feminine. She is both aspects spiritually. Yes. So balancing the masculine and the feminine will bring back the high priestess power in the lineage. This is what the grandfather's saying. It has something to do with the practice of the ajna. You know, ajna practice too, I believe, extends back to ancient Kemet, ancient Egypt. Yeah, unity. Butterfly. Unity, exactly. Wow, you all. This grandfather's deep. Whoever's grandfather this is, they became an ancestor and they woke the hell up. I mean, all they had to do was die and they woke the F up. So they must have been pretty powerful in the 3D. Yeah. This grandfather could have well been a very religious, like did they have like a real, did they have some kind of high standing in their religion? His grandfather wasn't that far from it, but they had to die to kind of see something. They had to transition out of the 3D to see something. Wow. Couple more messages here. Yes, thank you. For real. Wow. Yeah. There was something, and he's saying, he's like, he's actually really sorry it took transitioning for him to see the truth. But he says now that he sees the truth, it's like, I don't think he's gonna stop. I don't think he's gonna stop giving these messages. It's like, what I understand about the ancestors is they're just gonna be like, oh, give me one door, I'm gonna find another. So you start listening to more tarot readings. It doesn't have to be mine. You're probably gonna start hearing some messages, and you're gonna be like, okay, Granddad is like not stopping. Anything else? Yeah, King Tide. Look at that. So this grandfather is saying that they will use their power to help the lineage obtain um, their rightful prosperity in this life, to start to experience life at its fullness again. This grandfather's committed to that. Okay? Whoever's identifying with this reading, your grandfather's committing to restoring the prosperity of your bloodline. That's interesting. Someone came from a very rich bloodline before. Yeah, way of the mystic, learn through experiencing depths. This grandfather is saying, go deep. Don't just stop where you are. Go deep. This grandfather's really encouraging that. Deep dives. Get real curious about everything. Leave no stone unturned. That's what I'm hearing. Leave no stone unturned. Look at that, okay? This grandfather is saying, you must understand. Look at this. I hope you see this, Raj, because it almost looks like a South Asian woman. I mean, I don't know your gender, but I'm just saying it looks like a South Asian person. I am saying here that your grandfather is saying, go very deep beneath the surface. Restore the high priestess. It's almost like Spirit is showing her she's buried underneath deep waters. It's almost like her coffin was thrown into the waters. You know what's deep? I'm going to tell you all, and I've been having this come up even in some of my sessions with clients. Has anyone read that book, Women Who Ran with the Wolves? If you read that book, it's a book of a lot of different short stories. There's a short story in there. This is deep. Your grandfather says this is absolutely, I should be mentioning this. In that book is a short story called Skeleton Woman. Read that story. Read that story. It's just, your grandfather is saying, and the grandfather energy is saying, that is the story of your family's demise when it comes to the loss of the feminine power. Oh, you did? You would want to read this story, Skeleton Woman. It's in the book. I'm going to put it in the chat for anybody who wants to read it. Women who ran with the wolves, or who ran with the wolves? Women who ran with the wolves, by Clarissa. I think that's how you spell her name. I might have too many. Hold on. Clarissa Nicola Estes. Read Skeletons. Come on. When you read this story, I'll tell you a little bit about it. The story starts out, it's hecka deep, y'all. The story starts out where there's a father, and they're talking about a father took his daughter to a cliff and dumped her over the cliff into the waters, like killing her. And the story starts by saying nobody knew why he did that and nobody questioned it. And so it tells the story of how she was killed and her bones, formed a skeleton in the water. And it talks about years later, a fisherman comes along with his net. And in his net, she gets caught up in his net because she had been living in the waters for so long. And when he pulls up his net, he pulls up the skeleton of Skeleton Woman. And he's afraid, and he starts like rowing his boat really quickly back to the shore. He's like, oh my God, like he didn't expect to find a skeleton. And because she gets caught up in his net, when he's like running back to his hut, he doesn't realize that she's kind of following him because she's caught up in his net. And finally, when he gets in his hut and he starts a fire, he decides not to be afraid of her, and he brings her in and sets her by the fire. And then it's like such a deep ass story, y'all. It's like when he falls asleep, she, with her bony finger, she picks one of his tears that falls out of your eyes, just like when you sleep, and she puts it into her mouth, and she becomes a woman again. It's something like that. It's a deep story, y'all. It's like love restored her. But the beginning of that story, the grandfather the scene is the grandfather is upset with the daughter, takes her to a cliff and throws her over, and nobody questions it. So, for many families, that was the energy, right? If you disobeyed and you were in the feminine form, sometimes you met your end by other male family members. Whew. I think that's the end of this particular tea, y'all. This grandfather's hoping you will work with your ajna. All of you who connect with this, your ajna. Am I pronouncing it right, Raj? Yeah, you would think that was, you all, if you're really interested in divine, ancient feminine history, I think Max should just pay me for affiliates. But Max Dashu, she's one of the best women historians ever. And she has the best website where you can watch all of these webinars on feminist ancient history. It's the bomb, y'all. Let me put her website in. Well, you could just Google it. Suppressed Histories. You start watching Max's stuff, you're just gonna be like, oh my God, I gotta learn more. She does webinars on women drummers, women shamans, and she does it from all over the world. She's done all of this ancient history from all over the world. She shows you all of these ancient artifacts that have feminine embodiments. It is some deep stuff. She has a webinar on women witches. Is that the last one I watched? But she has recordings, but she also does live webinars. It's really cool. Everybody's culture. Everybody's. From Asia to Europe to Africa, everywhere to the Americas. She you all. She's like the deepest archivist, historian. So I'm going to shuffle again. I probably have energy to do one more tea message. How are you all doing? I guess we're all late night people, huh? I swear, I mean, 3 days in bed, I feel like I have so much energy now. Once I started feeling better, I was like, oh my God. Y'all. You're a night owl? Yeah, me too. I come from a night owl family. I mean, when my grandmother was alive, you could call her at 2 a.m. and she'd be up like baking a cake. I'm like, Grandma, why are you still up? She's like, why are you calling me? I'm all like, because I know you're going to be up. So, yeah. Yeah. Great to connect with you. I know it's getting late wherever some people are, or maybe it's morning where some people are. I don't know. You're welcome, Raj. I mean, keep in touch. Let me know how that goes. That was a deep ancestral message. I don't know what deck we're going to start with next, but it helps me actually go to sleep to just, you know, kind of spin out my energy instead of like scrolling on the phone until I fall asleep. Helps me get my energy out. So we'll see. Okay, what deck are we going to start with, Spirit? We have one more tea message, I'm being told. One more midnight tea message. That should work out. It's like in the hour of the midnight. Well, it's 12:50 where I live. AM. I don't know why Spirit said to start with these cards. They're kind of like just affirmations, but Spirit said start with this. Joy. Ah. You delight in the love of life and bring a spirit of fun to all that you do. That's lovely. Oh, yeah. 2 a.m. Well, you know, some of the most powerful hours, integrity. Spirit said to take 3 cards. Integrity, you demonstrate the truth and the honesty of your soul and manifest love with your every action. Oh, lovely. One more message, Spirit is saying. Compassion. You demonstrate the language of the heart by actively sharing and living love. I like that. So, Spirit is saying take another card from here. What's the tea, Spirit? What is the tea? Let me drink some water really quick. Yeah, joy is necessary. It's one of those things I have to remind myself sometimes because I get in the muck of things. I'm like, wait, am I happy? If I'm not happy, what are we doing? Okay. So Spirit is saying this is very much qualities, somebody's energy. Oh, well, here we go. Trusting tricksters. The trickster's only power is your trust. You are always free to withdraw it. Yeah. There's a cord that someone has that's attached to them. What deck do you want me to use, Spirit? And Spirit is saying this cord, it is because of these qualities you have. You have so much integrity, so much joy, so much compassion that you have been courted to, my huns. Somebody. Only take it if it resonates. But you may not be fully aware of this. Spirit's bringing it to your attention. We're going to see what comes out here. You know, energetic cords. We can be courted by anyone, but I have always heard, and let me know if you hear differently, no one should be courted to you except small children. I'm talking like babies. You know, children who are dependent upon you, not adult children. We're talking kids who would not survive without your assistance. Those are the only beings that should be courted to you. Everyone else, regardless of a spouse, partner, mother, father, no one else. Everyone else, snip, snip. That's what I've been told. So this is saying a trickster. A trickster. I regret my behavior. I've never met someone like you. Yeah. You know, you all, whoever this is, you need to be careful because someone is trying to entangle themselves in your energy. I'm seeing two different kinds of energies, so it's two different situations. One is a person from the past, and one is a person that someone's recently met. It doesn't mean both are happening to you. It could be one or the other, Spirit is saying. Yeah, I reiterate, not adult children. So you got to really learn how to cut cords. Because the way they happen, look in this picture, you know, while you're petting the gentle, kind animal. Hold on, you guys. I think I need to blow my nose. Sorry about that. I don't want it to sound gross either. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for that little moment. Okay, yeah. So this could be someone from the past or someone you just recently met. Let's see what the ancestors say. Whoever this is, they want you to think that you both have a lot in common, especially by the kinds of stories you both share with each other. There could be some light trauma bonding, so be careful in this relationship, like telling this person too much about past wounds of yours or past hurts, past traumatic things that have happened to you. You may have shared something like that with this person. They want you to believe that you both kind of share the same kind of rhythm. You like the same kinds of things. Yeah, your ancestors are saying this person might even present themselves as being kind of a free spirit, a little bit of a rebel. I'm hearing from Spirit, rebel without a cause. That's an old saying, but you know, Um, I think they could fascinate you because they're a little bit different from you in terms of how they do things in life. They might be a little direct. They might give that, I don't care, I'm going to tell that person to do, to F off or whatever. Like this person has a little bit of that gritty attitude. They may do things that you wouldn't do, but you may be slightly fascinated by this person's, how opposite they are of you. You may, in some small way, admire how direct and brave they are with the things that they say. Interesting. This person is trying to get close to you, but at the same time, they are also trying to weave a cord. Spirit is saying, be careful of this person. This person likes codependent relationships. Yeah. You got 7 of Wands here. You know how you're going to know this person? They don't get along with a lot of people. They're always in some kind of disagreement with someone or rupture. And this doesn't have to be just people they know. Like you could go to a store with them and they end up having an argument with the clerk, or at a restaurant, they're arguing with the wait person. Like this person's always in some kind of contentious relational interactions. I don't know why Spirit said it that way, but Spirit is saying this person is very confrontational. That's how you're going to know who they are. They may have a problem with the church. I mean, all of us have our criticisms about it, but they may have a problem with the church. Like for real. They might speak out against organized religion in some kind of real derogatory way. Yeah. They're also very armored. Like they're not an easy person to get along with. But for some reason, and I'm thinking whoever I'm tapping into, your energy is very, remember, let's go back here, y'all. This is you. Integrity, joy, compassion, meaning your energy is very soft. Your energy is, your energy is very kind. This person is not the kind of person that takes kindness in the way that you think your kindness should be received. They think kindness is something to be used. This is what Spirit's saying. So you've got to understand when somebody like this meets you, Spirit is saying this is an overused word, but this person has narcissistic kind of tendencies. It's an overused word, meaning be careful of flinging that around. But this person feels like people who have this kind of integrity, joy, and compassion are people to be used. Which is hence the trickster. Okay? Be careful, y'all. Be very careful. Yes, this person could be emotionally harmful. You know what I'm gonna say? And And before you get caught up, you don't want to end up feeling, I don't know. Spirit is really warning somebody here about getting caught up in this person. Because look, oh, I'm sorry if I shook the camera. But look, Spirit is quite literally showing you this is not a good outcome. One is self-imprisonment. In fact, Spirit is saying, show these three. This is not a good outcome. So be very careful here. Yeah, well, you know why we know more than one person with these presentations is because, wow, we're in, as human beings, a mental health shift. I mean, I don't think it's a mistake that I caught COVID right now. I think I needed to have that experience so that I could just have that final piece of knowing, even though I know very well what many people went through mental health wise during the whole height of, can I say COVID? Y'all let me know. I mean, is YouTube gonna be all mad? But anyway, I know people went through some mental health shift, and there's some people we all are going to understand do not have the emotional support, nor did they have the foundation to really get better. They just got worse. So, you know, that's a discussion for a millennia, you know? Yeah. Root of fire, risk it all. It's going to be important in letting go of this relationship, because people are going to be in different places, right? This relationship, I guess this is what Spirit is pointing to me. Look at this being, how there's roots like even connected all to their skin. Y'all look at this. This is the beginning. You see how the little vine is just kind of slowly wrapping itself around? Look what becomes. Be careful, because Spirit is saying before you know it, the roots of this vine will become most of you. And your flowers, because your flowers will never stop growing. You are this person. You will never stop being this person. But you will have to contend with the cords of this person. And you must understand that at some point in this relationship, if it gets to this point, you are going to have to remember yourself. You are going to have to risk getting free of this relationship, because this is who you were before this got a hold of you. But Spirit is saying for some people, you're already intertwined with this person. For some people, you're just at the beginning, and there's a warning here. Okay, Panini, you're right. I don't know. Sometimes I end up being shadow banned, y'all. I was shadow banned on TikTok for heck long. It'd be happening. But I don't know why Spirit showed it this way, but I hope y'all see it. What else, Spirit, do you want us to know? Yeah, please do not lose sight of yourself. Really, if you are in this beginning stage, just break free, cut loose. If you are here though, Spirit wanted me to point this out. See these flowers? This is who you are. You will never stop being who you are, but you've got to detangle yourself at the root from this person. So Spirit wanted that to be said. Somebody's needing to free themselves from someone toxic. Okay, last few messages here. Yeah, allowing what is, inevitability to trust. Trust yourself though. Trust yourself. Not what this person says, not the stories they concoct, not the accusations, all that kind of stuff. You got to trust yourself because this person is a weaver of stories. Where was that? Yeah. The mineral is stories. You know, our bones are mineral as well as rocks and gems. They stand and symbolize our stories. This person weaves a lot of stories, concocts a lot of, I don't know, Spirit is saying isms. They like to accuse you of being this and that, and, you know, you may find a lot of healing in the water. Spirit is saying that. Going to water, immersing yourself in water, clearing this person's cords by being in water. If you can get to ocean water, lake water, river water, go and do a spiritual cleanse. Spirit is saying for some of you, if you know what this is, then if you're watching and you know what it is, do Olympia. If you don't know what Olympia is, you can go and take a fresh fertilized egg. My teacher said fertilize. If you can't find a fertilized egg, I mean in the stores, in some of the stores in the US, they sell fertilized eggs. But if you can't find one, just a regular egg, you go and you immerse yourself. You can wrap yourself in like a white sheet. You can, or wear white. Put yourself in the water. And bring the egg. I don't know. You all can correct me for the direction. I believe you go from the head to the feet. The egg is just to touch different parts of your body, taking all the toxicity away from the head all the way to the feet. Don't miss any part of the body, down the arms, the shoulders, the back, you know. And then you say your prayers to that egg after the egg has touched all parts of your body. You cup it in your hands and you speak your prayers into it, ask Spirit, your ancestors, to take away any of these cords, any negative energies, and then you ask for its blessing. I have relationships with water spirits, so I also wrap a dollar bill around the egg, but you don't have to, and I chuck it far and wide into the water. Very important, once you do this, you turn around, you do not look back. So you need to walk directly to your car or whatever way that you came without looking back. So make sure that you are facing correctly, remember? And that your car is not in a way where you have to turn around and face what you just did. Do you all get what I'm saying? Let me know in the chat if you don't. But it's like you do that, you throw the egg in one direction, you turn around and walk the other direction. Don't go back to that spot for another moon cycle. Okay? That's what Spirit is saying. My sign is a Cancer. Don't go back to that spot for a moon cycle. Okay? And don't, so pick a spot you're not going to have to drive past all the time, or, you know what I'm saying? Go somewhere where you rarely go. And part of this is Spirit is saying, part of this is you beginning to do your practices is to understand where there are spots where you could do your spiritual work, so that you're not having to like mix it with your everyday frequent, you know, You're not doing it with your everyday going-ons. Okay? Yeah, Cancer rising. That's why we connect. These water signs. But yeah, that was Spirit's advice. Do a water ritual, decord, drop that person. If it's in the beginning, don't feel guilty. Spirit's like, maybe, some of y'all are like, oh, maybe I give this person another chance. I mean, did I interpret that right? Spirit's like, just cut the cord. Spirit says you'll know when you cut the cord because this person will react in a way. They're going to react. And you will know that you did the right thing. You don't have to answer their calls. I don't know why Spirit just said that. Okay, I don't know. But, you do not have to feel sorry for this person. They will find their way. Spirit says it's better for you to keep yourself here. Spirit said, look, right here. This is you. That's so deep how Spirit wanted to say this about you first. This is you. Remain that way. Okay, Spirit said to do one more thing before I log off. If you have a yes/no question, start to formulate it in your mind. Thank you. I'm going to do a cowrie shell throw. If you have a yes/no question, formulate it in your mind. Yes, no. And the options are possibly maybe. Okay? Give me a thumbs up when you're ready for me to throw the throw the cowries. I might throw them like 3 times if we need like a definite clarity, but sometimes it's just one throw. Okay, you got your yes/no question. All right, my honeys. 1, 2, 3. Likely no. Likely no. Small, tiny possibility, yes. But likely no. I'll do it 3 times. Oops. Spray it again. Okay, I'm going to throw it 2 more times. If you have a different question, ask it. If you have the same question, you're going to do it for clarification because it'll be 2 out of 3, right? All right, 1, 2, 3. A good maybe. A good maybe. You have 2 no's, 3 yeses. A good maybe. Okay, one more time. You can ask a different question, or you can ask the same one, and this would be your clarifier. Yes, no question. Yes, no question. High probability of yes. High probability of yes. So if you're asking the same question, I would just say maybe. But if you ask 3 different questions and this is your 3rd question, high probability of yes. Tiny circumstance where it could be no. But for the most part, it's yes. It's yes. Okay, my honeys. I really enjoyed this evening with you. It's part of me feeling better. You see what happens when I feel better? I'm like, oh my God, I'm on top of the world. I'm one of these people, like, when I get sick, I'm like, oh my God, why would anyone ever want to be sick again? And I'm all like, then I'm like wearing my mask everywhere. My family's like, can you please take your mask off for the pictures? And I'm all like, no. But anyway, I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me. I hope that we get to hang out again. Thank you for trying this new setup with the phone, So, yeah. I was starting to feel better. I really was. Okay, you all. I will see you in another time and space. I got family stuff this weekend, but maybe on Sunday evening we could try it again if I'm up for it. Okay, take care. Take care. I don't even know how I end this. I think I have to do something with my phone. There we go.